I'm editor Stephen Mirrione, and along with our friends from Avid, we're going to take you behind the scenes on F1. When Joe Kosinski first told me about this project, my first reaction was like, I don't know anything about Formula One. I know he's going to be wanting to do something interesting and cool, so he sent me the script. Even in that very first draft, even though it was very different from where the movie ended up, they had done so much research. You could just feel they had the authenticity down with the action and the great dialogue scenes and funny, but also still some drama. I could just tell like this is going to be like in his sweet spot. So I was very excited about it. Everyone's concern all the way through was making sure that you didn't end up with this race fatigue. You want to make sure that the racing sequences were not just about the excitement of watching a race, but that there was always storytelling and narrative information all the way through.
When was the last time you won a race?
Sunday, Daytona?
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Formula One.
Oh, I'm sorry. Then same as you.
Really, my inspiration for all of my work and all of the moves I make comes from the set and comes from what's photographed, comes from the performances. One of the crazy things about this project was the amount of preparation that went into how it was shot or how it was going to be shot, and all the research and planning that the camera department especially had to do just to attach these cameras to these cars, which are very weight sensitive. They need to design everything so that the car could race on these tracks safely, but fast. So for me, that meant giving them reference material that they might need ahead of time for their planning. Also just being able to deal with these rigs where you've got 9 cameras rolling at any one time while they were doing their laps on the track. They would be communicating with the actors at specific points on the track, letting them know, look this way, look that way, this is going to happen here. And instead of doing a lap and then stopping and checking everything, they would just go again and again and again, sometimes 6, 7, 8, 9 times, whatever it took. Those cameras would come to us and my crew would gang them all together, set up a group clip that I could then see in my Avid. I could watch it as a 9-way grid if I wanted to watch what happens on every camera at once. Joe had already put together storyboards that we then created cuts out of the storyboards. As a starting point, they were already really strong in terms of the storytelling. We knew in a race they have to have a moment where they're fighting to pass or not. They would tell them, this is the spot in the track where we can do that safely. And so we would design the races around that feedback. When I got the material, it was really, the first step was just filling in those storyboards to see what worked and what didn't, and that the storytelling all made sense. This was our, first storyboard at Silverstone. So this is the start of the race. You got a pretty good idea of what kinds of shots they're going to be getting. So these are some selects that I put together. I think these were based on us watching some stuff in the trailer with Joe, just grabbing shots that they liked. Just did a quick cut just so that we could get a sense of what do these shots look like when they get cut together? Does it make sense? And when I'm doing this, I was kind of trying to keep it at the right part of the track, but I wasn't being as militant as normal. But you can see, like on day one, we knew we had a pretty exciting base of shots that we got to work with. Just to give an example of how many cameras were going at once, there's a lot of specialty shots that we're then able to get. Like this shot on the lower corner here, this was a shot that I actually asked for after we had cut everything together, because this upgrade that Kate creates for the car is a huge story point. It wasn't in the storyboards. It wasn't something we had originally planned, but I said, hey, when you start like putting cameras all over the place, can you put a camera that sees that upgrade? And they did. And it's the only time it's used in the whole movie, but it's attached to that camera. So wherever I needed to use it, I had the shot. We had maps for all of the tracks. If I knew that something was going to be happening over here at turn 9, I can see, I can choose from camera 16, 17, having access to all of this and having it organized in a way that you could like quickly go to a specific part of the track and find something that you might want to use. It just saved us a tremendous amount of time in terms of just getting ahead of things and not having to then send a note like, could you shoot this? Could you shoot this? Can we grab this? It was really, really helpful. The thing that I appreciate and why I'm always, using Media Composer, we know it well enough that we're able to kind of use it to create solutions to these kind of weird problems that we have depending on the project. And on this project, it was all about organization, using the subtitle tool, using different overlays on those tracks so we could have all that reference information. Normally in a dialogue scene, you're doing different takes and you can pop from this take to that take, right? And go to that particular line. In this, we were able to use ScriptSync for our laps and be able to go to every time that line was said in a particular lap. We've got Brad saying, "Get him, kid." Maybe there's a better version of that. It's much quicker to just go to ScriptSync and go to every time he said it than having to hunt for it. When I'm cutting a normal dialogue scene or something, I'm oftentimes completely ignoring continuity, especially if it's something where there's an A/B camera running. I will almost on purpose mess that up so that people will assume it's not A/B camera and it just because it feels more, there's something that makes it feel more cinematic. But whenever I was doing racing, it was the opposite extreme. Like I would be very, very careful to keep the continuity perfect because, again, it just helps with the illusion that we're creating. There are split comps all through this movie. It's something that I use a lot in general, but especially in this movie became helpful. Just to like dial the precision in just a little bit here and there, it's really useful. In the Avid, it's so easy to kind of do those as real-time effects. The biggest challenge for me as an editor was having the ability to kind of step back and take a macro view of everything and being very careful to make sure that every time we're in a race that we know what the story is of that race, that storytelling is being presented in maybe a slightly different way than in the next race and the next race after that. I've been on other movies like this where the tiniest thing that you change in the first 15 or 20 minutes can have a huge impact on something that happens an hour into the movie. The only way to know that is to take a step back, watch the whole movie all the way down, and get a feeling for that. I think the most important lesson I learned early on is to never give up on finding a solution. Through that, I discovered this superpower that editors have, which is you can do anything with a cut. You can do anything by putting this image together with this image, or taking this sound and putting it here, or just take the scene out completely, and then suddenly that magically makes everything else work. The thing about this movie, about the importance of teamwork and people coming together, and it's so rewarding to be doing that on a movie that's about that, and that people are getting that and people are responding to that. And all over the world, I worked for that moment in the room with the director, or when the producer comes in and you play a scene and you look over and everybody's kind of teared up or something, like, that you've moved people. That's why we do it.